What's up, everybody? I started this recording about a minute ago and I forgot that I didn't turn my microphone on, but fortunately I only got into a minute into the video. Thank the Lord. So today we're gonna be going over some of the best and worst gear of 2020. Backpacking gear, obviously. Some of my choices. I'm not gonna lie, I have some gear gripes with a certain company, with a certain product that I've been using for a long time. I'm not gonna be using it anymore and I'm not happy about it at all. We're gonna get into that, but I didn't want it to just be like nothing but me complaining. Wait a minute, we're gonna get into that, but I didn't want it to just be like an entire video of me complaining. I do that quite often. I'm probably gonna keep doing that in the future, but for this one, there's gonna be complaining at the end. But first, before I go over that piece of gear that I'm not too happy with, that is weird. First, I'm gonna be going over two pieces of gear that I am really happy with this year. You could even say these are my two favorite pieces of gear from 2021, although one of these I bought in 2020, but used it in 2020. You know what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get into it, the best and worst gear of 2021. The first piece of gear I wanna talk about, the best, my shoes, the Lone Peak 5s from Altra. I mean, this is hardly groundbreaking, right? These are probably the most popular through hiking, backpacking, trail running shoes that are out there on the market right now, but it's relevant to me because I had never used these shoes until this year. I made a leap of faith, you could say, by switching to them because I used the La Sportiva Wildcats before I switched over to these shoes this year. And I didn't really switch over for any specific reason. I feel like a long time ago in a video, I said I would address this and I never did. I used the La Sportiva Wildcats for years and years, thousands and thousands of miles. I loved those shoes. There was not a specific reason why I switched, other than the fact that just wanted to try something new. I guess I'd had a few minor foot problems over the years, but I don't think I could like fairly attribute those specifically to the Wildcats. I really liked those shoes. For some reason, I just had the calling to try something new this year, and these Lone Peak 5 shoes are the ones that I decided on. Literally this color right here. Of course, I have my pair here as well, although they are a little bit beat up at this point, although the grip is still going pretty strong. I've probably put like 300 miles on those. Honestly, I wear them just as my normal everyday shoe anyway. So honestly, it's probably more than 300 miles and they're holding up all right so far, but I really love these shoes. And I wanna be clear, I'm talking about the 5. You see that 5 right there? That's what I'm talking about because I also tried the 4.5s and some of you will recall that didn't go very well. I was using the Lone Peak 4.5s when I had my catastrophic foot injury earlier this year when I was hiking the Cranberry Lake 50. However, to be fair once more, because we like to be fair here, I don't know if you can really blame that all on the shoe either. I think that was my fault, to be honest, because I was using a shoe size that was just too big for me. You think, Kyle, you're 25 years old. How the f did you buy wrong shoes and why did you keep using them? I don't know. I will say one little gripe I have with these shoes is that it appears to me and also to my hiking partner Flossie that the sizes run a little bit big because normally I am a 10, but when I bought a 10 in the 4.5s, that was way too big for me. And then when I tried on a 9.5, that was still too big for me. So I settled on a 9. And they fit perfectly, they feel great. The zero drop thing, that's the thing people always talk about. If you're not familiar with zero drop, basically, you know, this is gonna be the worst explanation ever, but most shoes have like a slight, I don't know, incline you call it, but these don't. It's zero drop, so your foot goes flat. It's supposed to be like more natural. Honestly, I'm not sure of the science behind it. Some people swear by it, some people say it sucks, I don't know. All I know is that I've heard stories of people who switch to these zero drop shoes and then have their feet just like get up because they're not used to it. So I was like very careful. When I first bought these, I just wore them around the house quite a bit. I took them on a couple like short, easy hikes. I didn't just jump right into like something crazy with them. And my body got used to them and I actually quite liked them. So overall, Altra Lone Peak 5s, I'm going to definitely continue hiking in these shoes. Just be careful breaking them in like I just said there, but I will have a link to these in the old description. Just don't get this color right here because like that is like the ugliest. When I went to REI, the first time I tried to buy these, this was the only color left they had in my size, and I was like, no wonder, who wants to buy those? But they got some other cool colors. Flossie has this color right here. Like I said, I got the black ones there. I think, ooh, I haven't really seen these ones. You don't see that too much. I think these ones are probably the best, but that's just me. You can decide. Link in the description. My second favorite piece of gear from 2021, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of gear from 2020 as well, because I bought this back in 2020, is, honestly, actually, hold on a second. This might be my favorite piece of gear of all time. I'm not even kidding. I've wanted to make a video on this headlamp for a long time now. This headlamp is the NU25 from Nitecore. I love this headlamp. This one right here in particular is the one that I have. I will give you a little piece of advice. Maybe don't buy the white one and then use it for 2 years and run with it, because you will get sweaty and it doesn't really look all that white anymore. But it's a great headlamp. And let me tell you why. Don't you want to know why? Oh, you don't? Yes, you do. You're f***ing with me. Don't f*** with me. All right, let's look at this headlamp. So, first of all, it's just stylish as hell. I mean, this is just a good looking headlamp, but more importantly, there's a number of different reasons why I like it. First is the weight. Look at that. Only 28 grams. And for those of you that live in the United States of America like me, that's 0.99 ounces. But seriously, that's so damn light. And I do think that maybe that is only the weight of the actual, like, you know, this part of the headlamp right here. I think this strap might weigh extra, but it's only like another ounce, because you'll see a lot of people actually take this strap off of the headlamp and then replace it with like the shock cord thing to save even more weight. I thought about doing that, to be honest, but I was just too lazy because you don't really need to do it, but that's an option if you want to. 360 lumens. I will say I use this running at night all the time, and it's always bright enough. Now, I'm not sure, let's look up how long it lasts on the brightest setting. There's 1, 2, 3. So this is the one I run with right here. And then it's done. I think that when it's on the high setting there, it's at 190 lumens. I'm honestly kind of confused by that, but I've definitely used it for longer than 30 minutes at that setting, so I'm assuming it's the high setting. So 190 lumens, and that is plenty bright for me when I'm running. Like, not just hiking, but like running at night. So like you're going quick, obviously, like you gotta really be able to see. I've never had any problems with it. It's perfect for that. And of course, it's perfect for just backpacking too, even if you're just around camp, things like that. I usually will put it on the medium setting when I'm just around camp, because you know, you don't need it to be quite as bright, and it still works just, you know, just fine for getting around. And then when I'm inside my tent, I usually put it on the red light. That's another great thing about this headlamp. It's got the old red light. I guess that's pretty standard for most headlamps these days, but still a great feature nonetheless, because if you're, you know, in a shelter or something at night, like you don't want to be blasting people in the face with your bright light, you want to be using the red light. So I really like that feature as well. So in conclusion, it weighs almost nothing. It's bright as hell. And the battery, I didn't talk about the battery. I love the fact that this is rechargeable. Again, I know that's not unique to this headlamp, but this is the first rechargeable headlamp I've ever used. I was a little bit hesitant at first, not gonna lie, but I really like it. That's how they save a lot of the weight, I'm sure, as well. It's actually not that expensive either. That's another thing. There's way more expensive headlamps than this out there. I think it goes for like 30, 35 bucks, something like that. I will have a link to it in the description as well, so you can go check it out. Okay, are my armpits sweaty? Not too bad. The moment you've all been waiting for, my gear gripe. What is this company that I'm so pissed off at? And why am I so pissed off at them? Well, first of all, my channel name is Kyle Hates Hiking, so I'm always pissed off, right? I like to complain. But anyways, Lecky. Lecky is the company. And let me show you why. I have been using Lecky's Corklite trekking poles for years now. This is the third pair that I've ever bought. The first pair were amazing. They were older than the ones you're looking at on the screen right now, and the ones right here. They were bomb-proof. I used them on my long trail through hike in 2016. I held on to them for years after that. I used them on the entire Appalachian Trail. By the end of the AT, they barely could collapse anymore, but they were still going strong. I never snapped them. I never broke any part of them. They probably weren't the lightest pair of trekking poles out there, which is maybe why they were so tough, but I loved them. They were great trekking poles. And so once I finished the AT, I was like, all right, I gotta finally put these poles to rest. I was very happy with them, very pleased with them that they lasted so long. And so I was like, all right, why wouldn't I just get another pair? And so I bought another pair, and Well, they made some changes to them. First of all, they are a little bit lighter than that first version, which I liked. And by the way, guys, you might have noticed it, but I'm complaining about something that doesn't actually exist anymore. They have some similar pulls now, it looks like, but the actual cork light itself, I'm pretty sure they discontinued. However, some of the things I'm gonna complain about in a second, I'm pretty sure they still use on other trekking poles. But anyways, the newer versions were a little bit lighter. I noticed they were a little bit flimsier, but like, you know, I like the lightweight stuff, so I wasn't gonna complain about that. The very first time I used it, I was trying to adjust the pole with this little part right here, okay? And so the way these work is you loosen or tighten this thing right here, and then that controls like how hard it grips. You know what I'm saying there, okay? Like that's how it works. So right now it's really loose. This is not gonna, look, whoa, you see that dust there? Whew. So if you want, you know, your poles to stay locked in place, you have to tighten this, but you can't do it too much. That's the thing. If you tighten it too much, you're not gonna be able to get it closed. Or if you do, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna snap it. You're gonna snap this little piece right here. And that's what happened to me the very first time I ever used these stupid trekking poles. And I was pissed about it. I even cut my hand a little bit when it happened. But nonetheless, I was like, whatever, I have them. I took them out for another hike, and I promptly lost them. I left them at a trailhead, so I barely even used these trekking poles before they had to go bye-bye. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try them again. So I bought another pair, and that's this pair right here. And these ones did last a little bit longer. However, you might have seen a video I made back in the spring where I was complaining about the fact that it's not super easy to replace these straps here. It was a whole headache for me to figure that out. Turns out I missed some things when I was searching around. It's a whole nother story, but I was not super pleased with their availability of replacement parts or how easy it was to find those parts, I will say. But, you know, I kept using them. I'm not gonna be using them anymore. Going back to what I just said about the this little part right here snapping on me, well, the same thing happened to my hiking partner Flossie, who has these same poles. Over this summer. His snapped as well, same circumstance. He was trying to tighten this part right here. He did it too much and it was too tight, and he tried to like force it and the thing snapped. So that's 2 times I know of that this has happened. Well, get this, last weekend I was using these trekking poles. It happened again. That's right, 3 freaking times. This thing right here snapped. Lecky, that's not cool. The fact that the same thing could happen to me twice and happen to another person that I know, it's just a bad design. Like, I'm no trekking pole expert here, okay? I don't know what's better, but there's gotta be a better way than this. Cause like, if I was out on a thru hike or something, and that's the thing, I really can't open this now. Like, I just left it stuck because I'd have to like get my freaking thumb under, like it's stuck. Oh, I'd have to like probably take some pliers and like loosen the bolt here. If I was out on trail, I wouldn't be able to do that. I could probably figure it out, you know, here, but I wouldn't be able to do that if I was out on trail. And I would have been even more pissed than I was when I snapped my thingy there. So in conclusion, I'm done with Lecky trekking poles. I know they don't make this specific version, like I said, but I'm pretty sure they still use that system in other poles. And honestly, it's all just left a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm gonna move on to something else. I did really like the knob. You know, we all love a good knob, so that was one of my favorite things about them, going downhill, the way you could grip it like that. But I'm gonna have to, Lecky, I'm gonna be giving up your knob. I know you don't wanna hear me say that, but Lecky, your knob is no more. Not for me. I'm sick of your knob. I'm not sure what other trekking poles I should get, to be honest. So in conclusion to this video, actually first, the conclusion is you should check out the Patreon here. Look at that. I'll wish you happy Thanksgiving if you check out the Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel. But anyways, I don't know what to get. I was thinking about maybe getting the Gossamer Gear trekking poles. I know Flossie just bought these. I don't think they've showed up yet, so I haven't actually like seen them, but I remember we were looking at them, and again, I don't have any experience with these. I'm not endorsing these, but they look pretty cool. They're pretty expensive, but most trekking poles are expensive. Look, they got a little bit of a knob there too. I don't know, these have pretty good reviews. I've heard other, I think it's Knock, it's like CNOC. I know that people really like these ones as well. A little bit cheaper too, which is nice. So I don't know. Any other suggestions out there? I'm sure there are. Leave a comment. Let me know what trekking poles I should get next, because Lecky is no more. Not for this guy anyway. So let me know, and subscribe, please.